Vroskky production.
So if you remember back in September, I made 2 videos about Nick Briz, talking about 1, how I just couldn't stand the nigga, and 2, how one of his original members of Savage Squad, Chris White, left and started beefing with him. Well, around this time that I was making these videos, Nick was also beefing with somebody else, or attempting to beef with somebody else. He was attempting to beef with AMP. He had asked AMP to hoop. They said, we don't hoop, and he got in his feelings and tried to beef with them. I'm gonna assume the only reason he got in his feelings is because Nick was, like, on the rise. Like, he was that nigga to talk about in, like, the YouTube basketball community, because, like, he was just getting so much traction. And the fact that, like, they turned him down probably hurt his ego a little bit. That's the only reason I could assume he got in his fucking feelings. So he tried to beef with him, and the only one who really responded to him at that time was Duke. And Duke didn't really entertain it. Like, he responded, but he wasn't, like, fully entertaining the nigga. I think he only really addressed him on stream. Like, he wasn't making no videos. Like, Nick was, like, low-key meat munching the nigga. Like, he was trying to get his attention, and Duke was just not fucking with it. So months have passed. It's been about almost a year since that has happened, and AMP drops their 2022 cypher, and lo and behold, Kai goes out of his way to diss not only Nick Briz, but Jake Lucky and Pretty Boy Fredo along with Phantom. Bro, we should have known something was up the second we seen 2 New York niggas walk out on the same cypher and shiesties to a drill beat. We should have knew something was up off rip. And he was talking about gra. He was making all the drill sound effects. Like, we should have knew somebody was getting dissed. Now, it's kind of clear why he dissed Nick Briz. Nick Briz was trying to beef with them those months back. It's clear why he dissed Fredo. Fredo was trying to beef with Agent, and they cool with Agent. Agent is literally a part of AMP, so they just being W. Jake Lucky makes a little bit less sense because he never did anything to them. But I'm just gonna assume it's because they fuck with Speed, and niggas just be meat munching Speed. Like, it seems a little motivated at times. Can't you say? It do feel a little motivated, right? Nah, I think the whole point of his diss was, besides being petty, was to see who was gonna respond and who would entertain this shit the most. Now, I highly doubt that Fredo is gonna respond. He's too busy faking content, and I highly doubt Jake Lucky is gonna respond. Why? Because he's too busy sucking off Speed right now. But Nick ain't got nothing going for him right now. He ain't been dropping no videos. I know his team is struggling because he was barely paying them anyways. So he ain't dropping no videos. He ain't dropping on Instagram. He basically radio silent. So basically they're giving him some exposure, basically putting him back on the map. And the main one entertaining Nick is Kai. Kai is the main one going back and forth with Nick, and you could tell like he's basically seeing how far Nick will go. Nick is damn near pushing 30, trying to beef with somebody who's just like in their 20s, and I think that's Kai's whole point. Nick is a grown-ass man essentially beefing with somebody who was still a teenager like a couple months ago. That diss really had the whole community going crazy too. Watch this.
Can't get nowhere with the knocker. You play, we smoking your blocker. Move funny, 2 shots to your chest up. Have you cried? Bring it to the doctor. Pretty boy, you shot. Get the gun, now we smoking on fire.
But back to the beef. Nick has addressed this multiple times on live, while also addressing it on Instagram stories. And I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna get too deep in it, cause like it's not even that serious. It's just Nick being like, I always said shit about you months ago. You just saying something now. That's basically Nick's whole like response. I've always thought about this. Like, I've always like noticed it every time he says it. When Nick says dumb ass boy, and then, like, the aggression that's behind it. Why? It's, you know, and there's even a tweet of him saying the word. He says the N-word when nobody's around. He definitely says it, and I'm pretty sure everybody on his team allows him to say it. I can guarantee the only times he probably doesn't say the N-word is when he's on camera. When he's off camera around everybody else, he says that shit. Because look at the aggression that he says, dumbass boy. Now, I'm gonna get, let me show you. Dumbass boy. Now, let me run it back. Dumbass nigga. Like, which one sounds better? The latter, right? The latter is only accessible to a few people, and he's not one of those people. All in all, there's really not much to talk about with this beef other than the fact that I feel like Kai, whatever plan he had against these 3 people, it semi-worked, and it mainly worked on Nick. I feel like that's why in the diss, he specifically went at Nick, I think, twice. Well, he only went at Fredo once. Phantom was the one who went at Fredo himself and Jake Lucky. But Kai went at Nick twice, gave him a whole ass bar. So, all in all, if this was just Kai being petty, or just Kai trying to see if, he can get Nick to respond and be a little complaining bitch, grown ass man complaining about a little kid, basically. Then it worked. He had Nick right where he wanted him. So I guess GG's for Kai. AMP on top. The cipher was tough. Niggas was spitting on gang.